What's up YouTube, it's your boy Eli here with another analysis video. This time yesterday I went to the Wynne Yellowjacket Spring Game. Wynne is in the 5A conference and the 5A East Division. They finished 5th last season with a 4-6 record, missing the playoffs for the first time since 2010, and removed Clay Toddy from his head coaching duties and hired former Jonesboro head coach Randy Coleman. Randy Coleman coming from Valley View as an administrator. He brings both a new offense and a new offense coordinator in Tyler Garr, who I saw weeks ago at Jonesboro West Side as the former head coach, which he now has left. Along with Wynne, Wynne is rebuilding their high school after the 2023 tornado that wiped out all of Wynne High School. The project is really coming along real nicely. It is mostly up. The frame is mostly being built. I believe they said it should be done by the 2027 school year, and it will be probably one of the better looking high schools in the Northeast Arkansas area. I saw a lot of good things for Wynne, and I saw a lot of bad things for Wynne. But most of those bad things have reasons, or they can be fixed along with the summer and time with the new head coaches. So without further ado, let's get down to the good and the bad of Wynne Spring Game. Let's start with the good. The good so far is the defense. The defense was phenomenal yesterday. It was a great time on the side of the defense. The D-line was quick. The linebackers were fast. It was just a wonderful, wonderful showing by the defense. Mikael Ward, a transfer from Cross County, coming over. He showed out great yesterday, along with the rest of that D-line, which I believe is one of the, I would say, quicker defensive lines in the 5A. I have seen bigger defensive lines, but I think the speed and off-the-ball quickness from that D-line will go a long way throughout the season. One big standout to me yesterday was Adonis Austin, number 12, the linebacker for Wynne. He really was just everywhere at once. He was always either in the backfield or he was always back to make the tackle, wherever it was. So I believe he will give a great showing this season at linebacker position. Switching to the offensive side of the ball, one of the big great things for Wynne was Grant Ogwin. Last season they had him at running back, quarterback, linebacker, pretty much everywhere that they needed him, and they never really found a fitting spot. But in this offense, the new spread Randy Coleman type offense, they really found him at the H-back, fullback, tight end position. He's a great blocker. He made great catches, and he had a very, very great long run today that really just showed out and showed real speed on him for a guy his size. He outran pretty much the entire defense. Another great showing was Caden Crawford. Caden Crawford is another transfer from Cross County. He was a two-time All-State and 2A state MVP coming from Cross County to Wynne, and he is back as running back position, and he had a long run right after Grant's touchdown, and he scored his own touchdown. He had over 100 yards yesterday, even with a, I would say, struggling offensive line. That O-line had some problems with it, but we'll get to that in a second. I think that Crawford will be another great prospect as a running back. He's already got offers from Missouri State and other colleges. He might be in the running for top running back this season, depending on how the offense does and how much they improve, but Crawford is a great prospect for any colleges out there. Let's get to the bad. Now, the bad for Wynne so far, it hasn't really been something that is just can't fix, can't do nothing about it. Most of the bad came from more or less inexperience, and most of that is on the offensive side of the ball because Wynne hasn't had the chance to be in that offense. Wynne hasn't ran a spread offense since 2016 when Chris Hill left. So this is pretty much brand new for all the kids coming in. The offense did look rusty, but like I said, brand new. Tyler Garr, the offense coordinator, came 2 weeks ago, and Randy Coleman hadn't been there for maybe 2 months, I believe. So really they've only had just a couple weeks to really run this offense and really practice it and really just have what they have right now. It's just, if the season started today, they would be mid at the very least. But I believe during the summer they will get better, they will get more in line with this offense, and will come out great at the end. With this offense, I think they need to fix the run game. The run game was off. But I believe that was more off the technique off everybody, because where they are coming from a wing T offense that was more or less just foot to foot and blocking schemes, whereas it now is 0-point stance, everybody's hands up, and they're about, I'd say, a foot or two in splits for their offensive line. So really it's a brand new offense for this offensive line. It's a new offense for everybody. So that all that blocking, there's new blocking, new technique, new footwork, new everything pretty much. So it's just a new experience for everybody. But the new running back, Caden Crawford, he coming from a double wing offense, he's going to be very patient with his offensive line. He's not going to accelerate straight into it. He's always going to wait to find his opening. He's very experienced with I wouldn't say inexperienced, but with a chaos-filled offensive line, which as of right now is what Wynne's offensive line is. But again, like I said, with time and with effort this summer, I think Wynne will get better at the run game, which with this spread offense, and I saw it a lot at Westside with Tyler Garr, it's the same offense. They like to run it a lot, especially with the quarterback. And with the quarterback, it wasn't his best day. He had a few plays where I questioned why he was the quarterback, and there was a few plays where it showed me, oh, this is why he's the quarterback. He threw a great corner pass in the end zone during warm-ups where I thought, oh, I'm about to see something great out of this guy. But once we got into real live play, he looked, I wouldn't say scared, but just didn't want to disappoint. It really just felt like he was just out of touch. And again, I told him it just wasn't his best day, and he's also trying to impress the coaches at the same time. So a lot of pressure, especially for a young quarterback. He's going to be a junior this season. He wasn't the full-time starter quarterback from last season, and even if he was in a wing T offense, so he couldn't really have that experience of a spread quarterback. Now there was times where he was running and he could have just ran straight up the middle, but he just put a couple moves that were just unnecessary, and he either got only a couple yards where he could have got more. There was a play where he read the read perfectly, but just could not take off. It just looked rusty to me, but like I said, it's a new offense. So he's coming into this new system, new coaches. He's just nervous, I believe. That's what I took away from it. He just needed to breathe. I kept saying that. He just needed to take a breath and really get into what he needed to be. I had a lot of guys text me, comment on my videos saying like, oh, he's the next great quarterback, and I was expecting great things, and it wasn't that he did a bad day, but with the expectations people had given me, he didn't live up to those. And with all that people talking of those expectations in his ear, that might get to him in this season. And I just believe he needs to tune all that out and really come into what he can be, because he can be a great quarterback. He wears number 25 as a quarterback. I mean, if you're going to wear 25 as a quarterback, you got to be really freaking good. So he's just got to set into himself. He's just got to be to himself, to the team, to the offense. That's just what he needs to be. in my opinion. Another big problem that needs to be fixed is the drop balls. There was a lot of drop balls all game yesterday, and it really just showed how much that Clay Toddy wing T offense had done to those guys up there at Wynne, because nobody could really catch a ball very well. That really problem can be fixed over the summer, so that's not that too big of a deal. Switching to the defensive side of the ball, there wasn't very many problems that I saw, but there was one detail that I just could not get out of my head, was that the secondary. There was a lot of secondary positions and secondary plays where I questioned a lot of it. There was a play where there's a few plays where there should have been a touchdown, but it was either overthrown or just a really bad ball. But there was just a lot of questions about that secondary where I think that needs to be answered before their first game, because they have Marion early this next season, and I just know Claude Johnson up there at Marion is going to torch them if he sees or figures out that Wynne's secondary is the way it is, because there was a lot of times where I thought, oh, they really need to tackle, oh, they really need to have better coverage than that, because they gave a lot of their receivers too much space to work with, and you do that against Valley View, Nettleton, Marion, or really most of the 5A East teams, you're going to have a really rough time. So I think that's another big problem that they need to address on the secondary. One last great thing for Wynne was the passion. The passion from everyone, fans, players, coaches, everyone on the field wanted to play, wanted to watch, wanted to just be there. Last season under Toddy, towards the end of the season, or even towards the middle of the season, it felt like nobody wanted to be there, and it just felt like a job for most people. But now it felt like Randy Coleman and the rest of the Wynne community has brought back the passion that Wynne had back in the Pascal, Chris Hill, or even Don Campbell days. There's a lot of hype around Wynne right now. Most people saying state championships. Most people just saying deep playoff runs. A lot of talent is still on that team, and a lot of people know that talent is on that team. So a lot of passion from players. They want to just wreak havoc on the 5A East. They want to get their revenge. Greene County Tech, Batesville, and Greene County Tech, all games which they probably could have won had they just had passion along with their season. But I think that Wynne is coming back to its former greatness under the likes of Chris Hill back in 2016, when Chris Hill brought that spread in the early 2010s and they went to the state championship twice. Wynne has always been a legendary program under the likes of Don Campbell, who had great players like D'Angelo Williams in 2001, where they won the state championship against Stuttgart. And then a few years later when they beat Greenwood in the state championship. And then, like I said, in the 2010s, where they went to 2 state championships in 2014 and 2016. And then after that, they went to a state semifinals where they met Pulaski Academy again in 2020, where they were undefeated for all year till that state semifinals. So really, Wynne is coming back. Now, I'm not saying they'll be back this year necessarily. I just think they will come back within the next few years. Really, I think Wynne is just ready to be back to where they were. I think a lot of people are getting ahead of themselves, especially the fans. The fans are talking state championships, all-time seasons, undefeated seasons, and coming from a guy who has been on teams like that with great expectations of state promise and state championships, that's a lot of pressure. And knowing the 5A right now with the likes of Robinson, Greenwood, and these other top schools that are just still in their powerhouse stages, it's going to be a rough road for Wynne. But I believe they have the talent to do that, and they have a lot of confidence, but a lot of confidence can kill a team sometimes. So I'm not saying that too much confidence is a bad thing, but too much egotism can be a bad thing. I think they will drop a few games early, most likely to maybe Marion or even not Nettleton, but maybe a Valley View game, or just a early game that can bring them back to earth to build themselves up. We saw that in the likes of Elkins last season, where they lost to Dardanelle very early in the season, and then that brought them to, well, we don't have that much pressure of undefeatedness. Now we can just play our own game. And then they eventually beat Dardanelle in the state championship. Even at Cross County, just down the road, they lost 2 games very early against EPC and Palestine Wheatley, and then they just flew under the radar for the rest of the season until, I'd say, Junction City, when they blew them out, and then went on to beat EPC in the state championship game. Will Wynne be good? Yes. Will they be great? That's their decision. It will just depend on how the players react to how the season goes. With that much confidence, that one loss, I said, could bring them down. But for great teams, that one loss can build them up. After yesterday's scrimmage, I had a chance to catch up with brand new Yellow Jacket head coach Randy Coleman and 2 other notable players from the scrimmage.
My name is Dennis Austin. I'm a middle linebacker, and I'm a sophomore.
Donis, you had a great game today. Just a quick scrimmage, nothing too big, nothing too crazy, but a lot of talent was showed by both sides, especially on the defensive side. Tell me about it.
I ain't gonna say, all season we've been doing a lot. We've been working a lot, offense and defensively. So we've been working.
So you come in as a sophomore on a very junior, senior heavy team. Tell me about it.
Pretty much, I'm just lifting weights and in the weight room like everybody else doing. I'm just trying my best out here.
All right, you have a good season.
You too.
My name is Grant O'Glenn. I play H-back. I'm a class of 2027.
Grant, you had a great game today. You caught a big, long touchdown today. You came in as another starter from last season. Tell me about it.
Well, we obviously had our coaching change, but I really feel like it's going to be for better. You know, we're up throwing, and now we're not running the ball all the time, and I feel like we're just going to spread the field and give it to our playback team to let them make plays.
All right. Great game today, Coach. Fans showed out today. Offense showed some productivity. Defense showed out great. Tell me about it.
Well, first of all, you know, this community is all about football, so it's great to have everyone here and, you know, excited about fall. It seems like it's going to be here next week. We got to wait a few months, but I know the town is ready for some Friday night lights in Wynne, Arkansas. Now, I was really impressed with our defense. I think we're big up front, and I think we're fast. Now, you know, we're not perfect by any means, but I think that if we can, you know, continue to improve daily, a little bit daily, and, you know, gain some more depth here and there, I think we're going to be fine.
All right, Coach, tell me about the offense today. It's a new system for both the players and the community. It hasn't really been ran since probably 10 years now, but just tell me about it.
Yeah, I mean, the offense, it's kind of fun because, you know, there hasn't been many forward passes thrown in Wynne, Arkansas for, like you said, maybe a decade. But the kids are adjusting well. The progress we've made over 3 weeks is incredible. So, you know, once we can get out in some 7-on-7, some team camps where we're going up against different looks, different fronts, different coverages, I'm excited to see how much more we can grow over the summer. And I think, we'll, you know, I'm very pleased, and I think that, you know, we may surprise some people come this fall.
Thank you for watching today's video, and don't forget to like and subscribe. I will try to get to as many team camps and scrimmages this summer. I don't know how much I can go to. I'm just one person, but I will try to do as many as possible. I don't know when is my next one, or even if I'm going to another one at all, but I will try my best. Congrats to all the teams that came out spring this year, and hopefully everybody has a great season this coming year. Again, don't forget to like and subscribe, and tune in for the next video.